started. If y'all want to start raising hands, we'll jump right in. Let's go Grant Ramey, David Pascal, and Ryan Shumpert. We might need to check our audio. Give us just a second. We're not hearing you, Grant.
Wyatt's in charge. We need you in charge of what I meant.
Grant, do you hear us?
I can hear you guys. It might be a Grant problem.
All right, well, let's skip
Yeah, I
Grant,
hear you, Lang.
David, and then Ryan Shumpert.
Hey, Rick, just wanted to ask, Walker Kessler's made a lot of 6'9" defenders look like they're 6'6", but he struggled both times against Colin Castleton to kind of have one of his typical days. And along those lines, how important, I hate to put too much pressure on one guy, but how important is Urosh in the minutes he can give you, given that he's kind of that 7-1 presence to match up with Walker?
Well, again, I don't know if I'd put pressure on any one guy either, because I think there's a lot of different ways you can go about it. But we need all of our post guys, David. We need Urosh. We're going to need John Fulkerson. We're going to need Brandon. We're going to need Jonas. We're going to need them all. And obviously Josiah goes down there some when we size down. But Walker Kessler's having just a fabulous year when you think about the way he has impacted so many different games on the defensive end. But we'll need all of our guys to get, whether, again, Urosh's minutes will be, I think all those guys' minutes are critical. I really do.
Santi is shooting 44% from 3-point in SEC play. At this point in the season, just how rare is that? And I guess where, obviously he's been a good shooter since he's been at Tennessee, but where has he kind of grown in his ability to shoot in his 3 years here?
Well, really what makes it what it is too is, I mean, the way people game plan for him every single night. I mean, he gets very little space. He works to get it. And obviously his teammates try to do a good job of getting him open, but he also tries himself to screen to get them open, hoping it'll get him open. But the fact is, where Santi is so different is his physical conditioning is at an extremely high level where he can just keep going. You know, he plays really, really hard on the defensive end, and he plays really hard on the offensive end because he has to. But his physical conditioning and mental conditioning is really at a very high elite level.
Go next to Mike Wilson, then Ben McKee, and then we'll let Grant try to redeem himself.
Grant won't redeem himself. Rick, how special is a combination like a Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler, just in terms of the differences they both give you, but the way they also complement each other on the court?
Well, I mean, it's a great combination to have when you think about the length they bring, the skill level that they bring, and the fact is, it seems like, you know, they both really understand exactly what they need to do to be successful together, but the way they again they both affect the game in different ways. I mean, certainly you talk about Walker's shot blocking ability, but offensively he does a lot of things. You know, Jabari, again, another guy that his versatility creates problems. So when you have two guys like that, it makes for a good team.
Rick, just how important is guard play going to be tomorrow going up against Auburn?
Well, guard play is important whoever you're playing. I mean, if you don't have good guard play, it makes the game really difficult for everybody. And so whether it's Auburn or anybody else in the country, I mean, we all know we need good guard play.
I'm here to redeem myself. It was operator error. It's my bad. Hey, Bruce said the other night pretty emphatically that multiple SEC teams should be in the Sweet 16. That's happened the last few years, but how is this group, the 6 or 7 or however many, going to get in the tournament? How are they different than the past, the strength of the league?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that have changed in the past with our league. I mean, obviously, you know, I've said all along, we've got terrific coaches in the league, but terrific coaches know that to be good at basketball or anything, you've got to recruit well. And you go back and look the last couple of years, the recruiting in our league has been at an extremely high level by multiple teams. If you're going to compete at the highest level, it starts with that. And our league has improved so much in so many areas, but that's one of the bigger areas in the fact that not only are we had been known for an athletic league, but now you're recruiting not only athletes, but skilled players. And it just makes our league that much better. And I do think, regardless of what numbers say, again, I can't imagine there's a better league in the country than what we have right now. And like, I think all the coaches, we want to be well represented in postseason play in the NCAA tournament. And I like to, and I know people have to do work to get there, but still, I just think that our league is the best, and I hope we can eventually get to a point where people talk about us 7, 8 teams in the tournament, and I hope it happens for our league.
Karthik, Jimmy Himes, and Mike Wilson.
Hey, Coach, you guys have been able to knock off some really good teams at home this year. I think about the Arizona game. I think about the Kentucky game. I also think about the LSU game. What do you think it is about this team that, when the big teams come to town, you guys are able to take care of business?
Well, I think we've had some good wins on the road too. I do, and I think that it's hard to win on the road. And our team, all of our losses have been the top 25 teams, and I do think our guys have grown and gotten better. And that's what we've asked them to do. We know that you can't stay the same. We can't stay the same right now, regardless of what happens here in the regular season. From here until we go to the tournament, you've got to continue to get better. And obviously, this time of year, I think we all have to get through the nicks and the injuries that come with this time of year, that you've got to really make that a priority, that you want to keep your guys as fresh as possible and try to give them a chance, as much healing time as you can give them. But yet knowing that every game is going to be a hard-fought game. But as long as we're trying to get better, that's got to be our goal. And then here, I don't think there's any question that we think that we have one of the great home court environments in all of college basketball. We've talked about it. Our fan base, I think, is second to none. And when you put that with a group of guys that I think that our fan base really enjoy, I think they appreciate the work ethic. I think they've appreciated how hard they've worked to try to get better. There's been times this year where we've had 3 or 4 true freshmen on the court, and to see how far they've come from the beginning is something I think people really appreciate. But with all that said and done, I think Ball Nation is as good or better than any, I think it's the best fan base in all of athletics, and I'm just blessed to have a chance to be a part of it.
Rick, how would you assess Auburn's guard play with Green and Jasper, Johnson, and Flanagan? What do you think of those guys?
Very explosive, very explosive. They play hard. They obviously they get going offensively. They can do it from different levels, but defensively, I think they're locked in as a team, and they play hard and they're aggressive. But combined, they can come at you from different angles.
Rick, you had a lot of praise for Kennedy after the game at Missouri. After watching it back, did that validate the thoughts? Was he even better than you thought it in some ways?
What are you saying? Validate what?
With Kennedy, you had a lot of good things to say about him when you watched the game back from Missouri. Did that validate even more the performance that he had?
Yeah, Mike, he did do a lot of really good things. He really did. And we talked to him all year about pace and, having command of the game and from his position and how he plays. And he's improved a lot really in the last 2.5, 3 weeks. And like I said, as a team, we've got to continue to improve. I think it's a great compliment to individual players when they listen and they understand that the more they can improve, the better they can get. It's going to help our team be better and improve. And there is no question that over the last 3 weeks, he has really improved on the things that we've asked him to improve on.
We'll finish up with Ben and Grant.
Rick, you all in Auburn have played some pretty good games over the last several years. Just what has made Auburn so tough to play over those last couple of years?
They're good. I mean, Bruce does a really nice job coaching his team. He knows how he wants to play, and he's done a terrific job with his program, building his program, and they're a good basketball team. They've done well. You go back and look at where they've been the last couple of years and how they're doing things, and so they're good. I don't know what else to say. I mean, they have worked hard to get the program where they want it, and he's done a terrific job with it.
Will Folky be available tomorrow?
Yeah, we hope so. He hasn't been able to practice very much, but yeah, we hope we can get him right.
I was asking Folky, so don't worry about it. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
All right.